this is the next step in your logo process. And again, we're doing that double diamond process. So we're at the beginning of it. We're just starting to do some research and find some inspiration for this. And the assignment's up here on Canvas right now. It's pretty straightforward. You're going to create actually a 4-page. I don't know why that says two. 4-page uh, Illustrator document. The first page, you're going to try and look for the existing logo of whatever company you're doing, any previous logos they may have used. And these first 2 pages are to help you avoid two of the most embarrassing things that can happen to you as a designer. One is you design a logo and you show it to the client, and it ends up looking like a logo that they ditched 5 years ago. So it shows that you didn't really do any research on them. The other embarrassing thing is to do a logo and it looks like their arch nemesis across town. So you want to avoid both of those. And so you want to be able to see what's out there. So the first 2 pages of this Illustrator document will be research. The last 2 pages are just for you to find inspiration anywhere you can find it. And so I'll walk you through how to do this. What you need to do is in Illustrator, actually, sorry, in Illustrator, what you want to do is create a new file. And I want you to do 8.5 by 11. If you don't have a preset over here, you can set it up here. You can do it either vertically or horizontally. I prefer to do it horizontal myself here. And then over here is where you select the number of pages. In Illustrator, we refer to them as artboards. And so if it's set at 1, you can just use the arrows here to up it to 4 pages, or you can just type 4 in there. The rest of this, don't worry about that. We will cover that a little later in the semester, but once you have it set up like this, hit create, and you should end up with a document that looks like this. So, page 1. What I think I told you guys is to walk you through this process. I chose a company and I'm going to walk you through all the steps. And the company I chose is a great little coffee shop in downtown Fullerton called the Night Owl. So we need to know where they have been or where they are. So I'm going to type the Night Owl Fullerton. And here's their website. That's probably the first place you should go for any existing company. This is their existing logo. It's horrific. I think we can all agree on that. They definitely need a makeover. Even the type looks like it went through the washing machine, so I'm not quite sure what happened there. So this is where they currently are. So I'm in the Safari browser, and it allows me to really drag stuff off here and just put it on the page. I'm going to size it once I get a few more things. And so this is their existing logo. I would go through the website of the company and see what else you can pull for kind of to see where they're at. Here on their patio, they have another mural, which is also ugly. But I'm going to pull that image off as well. If you're in Chrome, let's see, and there it is. If you're in Chrome or Firefox, you might have to um, save it to the desktop and then place it in the document, and I can help you do that. Um, and while I'm here, let's go through their pages. About Us. There's another horrible rendition of the owl. But look at this. It kind of gives me some ideas of colors in here that might be interesting. So I'll pull that. Let's see, nothing else on this page. Here's their menu. I don't know who did their type, but it's really horrible. But they really went for these kind of line drawings in here. So maybe what I'll do, just so I have a reference, maybe pull a couple of these. And so try and fill the page. For time's sake, I'm just going to limit it here. One other thing I might pull on this page, let's put this one at the top. Again, when you size this stuff, make sure you hold that shift key down so you're not distorting anything. If you don't hold the shift key down, You could make it really distorted on there. One other thing I might pull on this page is I rather doubt that the Night Owl in Fullerton is the only place that uses that name. So on this page, what you might want to do is I'm just going to type the Night Owl Cafe and hit images. Actually, I'm going to do the Night Owl Cafe logos because, as you can see, a lot of companies are called the Night Owl. So this isn't about ripping anyone off, but it might be good to kind of see how other people have represented this. You know, that's pretty much on the nose. So I might add a few of these on here as well. This is kind of cool the way they did the Night Owl just with kind of representing the eyes and the brows on it. This is kind of cool where they did just the logo as a line and they also put it in a shape. What do we call a logo that's in a shape like this? Anyone remember? Yeah, it's called an emblem. So, and again, here's another kind of cool emblem. You can see they did the eyes in a similar style. This is just to give you some inspiration. This isn't to rip anyone off. So if you have a name for a company, double check and see what else is out there, what other logos have been done in the past. Again, it's good to see this so that you're not, you know, if I present the client with this logo and then they find out someone else somewhere else is using it. So that's page one. Page two is going to be competitors. All right. Now, if you're doing a made up company, um, find logos. I would just do 2 pages of existing logos in the same, like competitors on here. If you're doing a logo for yourself, the question is, what are you doing a logo for yourself for? Are you selling yourself as a graphic designer? Are you thinking of creating your own brand of clothing or something? Because you need to know what you're creating a logo for. And then what you can do is pull other logos from other companies that do the same thing. But if you're doing an existing logo, do this first page of the actual establishment and maybe other companies that have the same name. All right, page two, competitors. Who do you think we compete with? The Night Owl Cafe. I'm going to do, yeah, the 800-pound gorilla here. You can look it up directly. Let's see. Let's do Starbucks logo. The infamous siren. So we will take one of these, put it on here. Who else do you think the downtown Fullerton Night Owl would compete with? Dunkin'. Does anyone go to Dunkin's? If you go to Boston, it's crazy. They are like fanatics for Dunkin' Donuts. So maybe I'll take that one. Let's see what that looks like. It's huge. Oh my God, it's huge. Dutch Brothers? Okay. Is it really that good? Yeah, so and yeah, you could go through this. Um, Dutch Brothers coffee. That's a little on the nose. All right. That is a horrible little windmill. All right, whatever. I'll pull it. Who else did we say? Coffee bean and tea leaf. We also have down here Phil's, which has a horrible logo. Anyone who spells their name with a Z, I think, is just destined to have a horrible logo. All right. So for time's sake, I'm not going to fill up the page, but you should be able to. But you can already see some themes developing with the competitors. What do you notice about the competitors? A lot of them. They're all in circles. So then your question as a designer is, do you play follow the leader and you create a logo that's also in a circle, or maybe you do something completely different to stand out, you know? So this also gives you some ideas. One of the ways I'm going to have you start working with your logo designs on Monday is working in terms of icons. And, a coffee bean might be an icon. So for time's sake, I'm not going to fill this up. And then the last two pages, this is all on you. This is your mood board. This is for you to find anything where you think you can take inspiration from. The three areas I would probably look at are, first of all, let's look at typefaces. And you're thinking, well, I haven't been doing this very long. I don't know what typeface is. All you have to do is type in coffee cafe typeface and go to images and see what other people have done, and that's one of the things you can decide. Um, you know, here's a font. It's a little kind of playful with the loop around here. It's distressed. It's got a texture in it. You'll see a lot of this stuff where it looks like a really kind of nice script font that looks very friendly. So I might pull that. Maybe if you look at the interior of the Night Owl, they're really going for that kind of boho chic look with everything. So maybe a style like this might be something that might work. That looks like a Ouija board. Some of this, that to me looks a little too cutesy. I probably wouldn't do that. Then you have this, which is kind of all the rage, the kind of chalkboard look. Almost every place does it. And then the question is, well, should we do it too, or should we just avoid it? But doesn't hurt to look at it. So that would be one place where you might want to look for fonts. The other is there's a lot of really cool websites. There's one I go to all the time. It's simple to remember. It's just ilovetypography.com. And they have a lot of really cool, kind of funky logos in here. And don't tell my clients, but I always bill them. Like I have a list of fonts that I want and I don't want to pay for them. So I usually try and get a client to pay for them, whether they know it or not. Um, that's kind of a cool sans serif font. I kind of like that. With a lot of these sites, what you'll notice is it's not going to let me pull this off. See, it just gives me a website. What you can do in those instances is do a screenshot. And if you're on the Macs here, it's real easy. You hold the Command key down, the Shift key down, and type the numeral 4, and that will give you this little target, and you just click and drag around whatever you want to screenshot. And what it will do, it will put it on the desktop here. So if I come back to my document and let's pull some of this type that I pulled already. Yeah, stuff comes in super big. Again, hold that Shift key down when you size stuff down. Um, so fonts, and then there's that one I screenshot. The way you get images into the document in Illustrator is you place them. So on the file drop-down menu, you go about halfway down to place, and you should be able on the desktop to find, there's my screenshot. So fonts would be a really good thing to look at. The other thing that would be good to look at is color palettes. And again, if you don't know where to look, just start with coffee shop. I would do cafe, color palettes. What color do you think is going to come up a lot? Browns. All right. Do you have to use browns because it's a coffee shop? No. You could completely ditch this. Although I'll probably pull one out of here. This one at least has some other colors, kind of a dull teal and a deeper red. Maybe I'll pull that. Um, don't stick just to coffee shop. Let's try this. What does boho chic look like? Lots of browns too, but some more colors in here too. That's kind of cool and it's a lot lighter. And you can also find photos where you can take colors out of them. And that's where you see when you see a lot of these samples. Um, so you can find color palettes just by typing that in. The other thing you can do, there's an eyedropper tool. Oh, I forgot he was sitting out here. People really wait in line to get this coffee? Seriously?
You can get it for free if it comes your first time.
Really? How many locations do, like, how many times could it get? Wow, and then you could go to every location and get like a month's worth of free coffee.
Yeah. My buddy used to go to the University of Oregon. I'd go there and just BS all the time. The first time,
All right, good to know. Or you go come back in the evening when it's a different shift. You could totally work it.
like, I think it's just about like maybe it's just near colleges because the other place I lived was near UW. So
I think someone told me there's one I think around here because of this college in Cal State Fullerton. I'll have to check it out. You do not have to go here to find palettes this way. You could just say, you can, like I said, you can pull it from photography too. I'm somehow picturing uh kind of fall colors for this, but you can find photos. Obviously, there's lots of reds and browns, but what about something like this? Doesn't have a lot of browns in it, but it's got these bluish grays and the yellow and yellow orange. That could be a really interesting color palette as well. And I'll show you one other color source that I use all the time. So I'm going to put this up here. And again, look around, the stuff you like. Look at the brands that you use. Is there fonts that you like that they use? Do you, are there things where you see the colors and you're like, that's a really cool color palette? I actually have on all the desktops of my laptop and desktop, I actually have a folder that's just labeled inspiration for colors maybe I would never normally use, fonts that I've never used before, just anything where I can take some inspiration. The other color place I would go to, and like I said, I use this a lot. It's a website called Coolors, COOLRS.co. And if you go here, you can kind of, it's choose your own adventure. All right. If you go here, this is all free. You'll see it says make a palette. And if you click on this, they will make you go through the little tutorial on here, but I'll show you how it works. Okay. So you get random colors on this. And if you don't like any of them, all you have to do is hit your space bar and you'll get 5 new colors. And if you don't like those, hit your space bar again. And then you're like, oh, I kind of like this red. What you could do is when you hover over it, you have the option to lock it. All right. Now when I hit the space bar, that color doesn't change, but I get other color options. I don't know how I feel about this brown. The only problem with this is you can't go backwards. So if I pass on that, I probably won't see it again. That's not going to work. Um, Maybe with this one, let's see. I'll lock that one. That looks a little too much like the German flag, so we'll move on. Maybe this blue, maybe that blue. And maybe I want one dark. Do I want black? Probably not. Let's find something that's dark. All right. Whoever gets to name these, I want the job of naming these. Chocolate Cosmos. All right. When you get a color palette you like, all you have to do is come up here to the top and do export. and you want to choose to export it as an image, and you can call it, um, I'll just call it the Night Owl, and it will throw it into your downloads as a PNG. I'm just going to throw it on the desktop, and now I can place it on here. So colors and fonts, this will also come in huge too. What's nice about using the website here, it will give you the hexadecimal number in here so you can get it exactly by entering that in the software. And then just wherever else you can take inspiration from, you know. One thing I saw the other day, I was at the mall. I hadn't seen it before. I don't get out much. I saw someone walking around with a Nordstrom's bag, and they shopping bag. They had done something I thought was really kind of cool. They had created this pattern out of the letter N. So let's go to images here. And I thought the pattern was kind of cool. I don't know if I can make it work for this, but I thought it was really interesting. And I thought N for Night Owl, maybe there was something I could do with that. So, pull it. Um, if you see things when going about your day that interest you, maybe you see a typeface on a logo that you think would work for you or your company. Color palettes are always really good. And just basically anywhere you can take inspiration from. There's a lot of very cool ideas in packaging. And so once you fill those two up with your inspiration on here, you want to save this as a PDF. So your logo assignment is number 5. You did your client brief as the quiz. That was the A part. So we'll call this B. And again, you need to save it in the PDF format because sometimes these images don't embed on here. And so when I go to look at it, I might just see empty boxes if you just upload an Illustrator file. So make sure you save it in that PDF format. I always check this out, and this happened yesterday. I'm curious if it happens today. View PDF after saving. I always make sure I look at this one last time before I send it to a client. And so I'll hit OK. And don't know exactly what happened. This happened yesterday too. Uh, all my Night Owl stuff didn't turn out. It's kind of a very cool glitch pattern on there. So this didn't copy. Nope, it just disappeared. All right, when in doubt, it would appear that not only does the Night Owl need a new logo, it looks like they might need some tech support as well. Let's see. So clearly, it's not letting me do this. I'm going to do Command Shift 4 to make a screenshot. Probably should have done this before. Command Shift 4. And at least now I can kind of focus on the really bad part of this and leave everything else out. So take all that out. This photo I don't think reproduced either, but for time's sake, I'm going to place these two screenshots I just did. Let's see, there's one. Oh, and now this one disappeared as well. Really fantastic. All right. Yet the bad illustrations remain. So go figure. All right, file place. Let me find the last screenshot here. And for time's sake, I'll just wrap this up. And save it. All right, so now I have that in there actually. So it should be a 4-page document. If you're really inspired or you find more stuff than can fit on 4 pages, it's really easy to add additional pages in Illustrator. There's a tool over here called the Artboard tool, and you can just come down here and draw a new board if you want to add additional images on there. I'll definitely give you extra credit. So if you do that, and Send that in and you are done for the day, done for the weekend. You have a little over an hour left in class, so go ahead and see if you can get that done as long as you're caught up with everything else. And then once you finish it, you're free to leave. All right?